he's got his head up now and looking about, and I'm hoping that's going to trigger that female to come in and try and mate with him. It's why we kind of asked for for Taylor to come to us, because I'm hoping that with his head up, she spotted that, and she's going to move in and try and mate with him. We also heard what sounded like a hyena calling, not very close by, but definitely not that far away either, and it's what perked Tingana up, is why he woke up and started looking around. And so I'm just kind of hoping that her sort of area, maybe she just sees him and slowly starts to creep her way in towards where he is. There she's coming now. There we go. So exactly what we thought. As soon as her head comes up, or his head comes up, so she starts to come in. Now Seb can just see her in the background, which is very cool. So hopefully she's going to just slink her way in. Come on, girl. Don't be scared. Everything is okay. There she comes. Just kind of hidden in the thicket. Come on, girl. Look at her. She's just checking us out, just making sure we're not anything to worry about. It's okay. It's okay. We're not going to chase you. Come on. So there she's going to come around the back of him, and she's going to rub up against him. Now, this is complete instinct is outweighing her fear, but look at the size difference now when Tingana stands up. Look at how much bigger he is than her when they're there. He almost makes her appear to be a bit cub-like, given his size. Now, she's not a small female. She's not a very small female at all, but she is very light in coloration. But look at that, isn't that magic? So our patience has paid off, just sitting and waiting. Now, Tingy, don't you go down over that bank. I'm talking to you. Now, you see, she's going to watch us a little bit. No, he's going to lie down there, perfect. Now, she's going to watch us, and I'm intrigued to see her behavior from here. So she's rolled a little bit, and I want to see what she's going to do with us, whether she's happy just to lie there for a bit and actually just, now that we're parked and we're quite quiet, is happy for us to be in her presence. I mean, that's not a cat that is too bad at this stage. It's okay, girl. We're not here to hurt you. Calcix, she will take behavioral clues from Tingana. It's just, you know, her experience so far in life has been to hide away from cars, and so it's not easy just to break that. It's like maybe comparing it to somebody that is a smoker. You know, they become it becomes a habit, and to break a habit is it takes a while. Now you see Tingana's not impressed. He doesn't want to mate just yet, so he's snarling at her, and so she's just going to go and sit there. Now, her behavior is not one of a complete fear around us. She's cautious of us, and that means that she's kind of getting used to the fact that Tingana is around. If you remember the first sighting that Taylor had of her, he had to chuff and call her out, whereas in this instance, she's actually voluntarily coming out and coming not too far away from us. I mean, yes, we are parked further than what we would normally park from Tingana, but she's still coming out, and now she's even sitting there and just kind of looking around. He's not even paying us attention. Now, here comes the hyena that woke them up initially. This is not a good thing for us, unless the hyena can push these guys away from this particular area. The hyena, I don't think, would take on these two, given that there's two leopards here and just one hyena. I think the hyena would be very brave to try to take on two different leopards. But isn't this exciting? Look at this. It's slowly going to come in. It's now stopped. I think it's seen the leopard. Now, I don't know. Might want to take this to a wider audience if they pause for a little bit. Let's just see. I'm pretty sure this hyena is just going to stop and see Tingana. It's going to look around. Often with hyenas, they just assess the situation. So they stop, they look, they just sniff. Oh no, it's going to lie right there. It's decided, nope, I'm going to see if you guys are going to move. The good thing about that is that I'm hoping it's going to make Tingana and this female move to our right, so from their left-hand side, and not across into the drainage line. I'm hoping this is going to maybe push them a little bit into more open stuff rather than the thicket. But you can see she's lying there now, completely unfazed by us. She's got her back to us. She's not even looking at us, which is exactly what we wanted. It just takes a little bit of time and a little bit of patience, and we'll get this female right eventually. So proud cat mama Jeff generally no. So generally they're not on the lookout for mating. I mean, for a meal while they're mating, but when there is an opportunity, so potentially, let's say, a diker ran straight into them, they certainly won't say no. They'll still be able to take that opportunity and will still be able to try and get that meal. So they still will hunt if an opportunity presents itself, but generally, no, they're going to be focused pretty much on mating. Now, it's super awkward. This hyena is just watching these two mating. I suppose it's much like us as well. Maybe it is an awkward thing to watch these cats go about it, but it's incredibly interesting to watch and super rare to kind of see how it goes. Now, Emma finds this super awkward. Emma, you're in the same camp as Megan. So Megan, who was a director, also used to find mating cats very, very awkward. And for me, it's just interesting behavior. It's interesting to watch how the two of them go about it. But I'm so chuffed at how she's responding to our presence right now. It just goes to show that if you're quiet and you sit still and you don't move too much, that she's actually not too bad. I know Tingana is definitely guiding her through this, and she's taking cues from him, and that's why she's kind of sitting as much as she is and probably as close as she is. But it's still a good sign. It's a sign that she's getting a little bit better than what she was. Now she's going to slink off away from the hyena a little bit, and I'm sure she's going to flop down somewhere in the background there. So ginger, it's obviously very dependent on the individual. Some leopards habituate very quickly, within a few weeks or months. Others take a very long time. To give you kind of an idea with Tingana, he took probably, to get him like he is now, I think it was probably about 6 months it took us to get him viewable with 3 vehicles like he is now, where he walks past the car. So it gives you an idea. And the reason why is because you can't find these cats every single day. This female, once she breaks from Tingana, is going to be like a ghost. She's going to be very difficult to find. And so what you need to find is her kind of mating. We need to find her on kills where hunger overrides fear, spend time there. And then what we need to find is her at a den site and her around her babies, because that drive to go and find her cubs and feed her cubs will outweigh her fear once again. And after that, she starts to realize that you're not stealing her food, you're not chasing her mates away, and you're not harming her babies. And that generally leads to a female starting to just kind of relax a little bit. The problem is that I find females are a lot harder to habituate than males when they are older like this. As cubs, it's not a problem, but when they're older, the females are already so ingrained and so secretive about what they do that they tend to be a lot more difficult to kind of break. Whereas the males, they sort of, as they become dominant, so there's this attitude and arrogance almost about them that it kind of comes with the territory as they establish themselves. Whereas a female, she's been around here probably for many years and just has never really gotten that attention. And because she's not getting that attention, she's now thinking, well, why was all of a sudden people following me around? And that's really tricky. So you're going to have to do a lot of work with this female, and you'd have to track her a lot and find her regularly, even if it's for short, brief glimpses, and just until she starts to realize, no, everything's okay and we're not here to harm her. But it's going to take a long time. What amazes me about this is that obviously she's in this area, and everyone keeps calling her this female from Buffelshoek, the shy female from Buffelshoek. That's the one with the 2 cubs, or had 2 cubs. But I don't think it's her, because another female leopard has just been found on Buffelshoek that is also shy. So I'm pretty sure that there is more than one female leopard on Buffelshoek. In fact, I know for sure that there is. The size of that area would dictate that there has to be more than one. And so much like Ijima, all these females are being lumped into the same leopard's basket. But she should be fairly easy to identify, like I say, with the little V in her left ear and that little cut on or scar on her right side of her mouth. You should be able to kind of start to get a nice ID kit going for her, and people starting to recognize her rather than the other, and try to build up a bit of a database. Good. We're going to carry on with them. They're right here. It's an epic afternoon. And so while we do that, let's send you back across to Taylor.